Fantasy Cheat Sheeters, welcome in. Today, we have another pre-draft ranking. We're going top 10 wide receivers this time before the draft this weekend. Jumping right in, out of Stanford, at number 10, we have Michael Wilson. Unfortunately, Michael Wilson's only played 13 games in the last 3 seasons, so it's hard to project what he's going to be. But for what we've seen in the pre-draft process with the Senior Bowl and his performance at the Combine, I'm very big on upside for Michael Wilson. A lot of people talk about his traits translating well. At number 9, out of Tennessee, could be 2 different wide receivers, but I'm going with Jalen Hyatt at number 9. I like Cedric Tillman a lot. He's just out of the top 10 for me. Jalen Hyatt, I think, has a little more boomer bust than Cedric Tillman. People think Deshaun Jackson. If that happens, great. But he really ran a limited route tree there because that's what he was asked in that style in Tennessee. So we will see what happens with him at the next level. I think you'll know pretty quick into his career how he's going to fare. At number 8, guy that I'm really big on, a lot of people are too, but smaller wide receiver out of Houston, Tank Dell. If you haven't seen his highlights, you got to put him on. This guy is electric with the ball in his hand. Makes plays as a returner as well as wide receiver, and basically was uncoverable at the Senior Bowl. So Tank Dell, number 8 out of Houston. Sticking with the same American Conference, out of SMU, we have Rashee Rice. Now, SMU's been producing wide receivers for over the last 5-6 years that are still on rosters across the NFL. And the coaching staff this year raved about this guy and said he might be the best one yet to come through. I don't really think that was hyperbole because there's other people saying that same thing. So watch where Rashee Rice goes this weekend. At number 6, out of UNC, slightly smaller wide receiver, but really like his ability at the next level is Josh Downs. He just runs crisp routes. He's tough inside the red zone. He is a smaller target, which is too bad. Might dest him to the slot, but watch his tape. He competes. His his contested catches, is amazing for his size, and I think he's going to be on a roster for a long time. At number 5, out of Wake Forest, A.T. Perry. I'm a bit higher on A.T. Perry than others, but I listened to some interviews of him. The guy is a dog. He wants to be great. He's like a tactician on route running. And I just think his frame is good size. I just see him being a producer. And between you guys and me, I have him like a Terry McLaurin that I had a few years ago in my dynasty drafts. I'm going to let everybody take wide receivers. And if I can take A.T. Perry as the 9th, 10th, or 11th wide receiver off the board in my dynasty, I'm going to be laughing all the way to the championship. So at number 4, out of Boston College, we have ZAY Floweres. Another dog in this one. And I see a little Steve Smith in him. I know that's crazy because Steve Smith is one of a kind. But I see ZAY Floweres having some of those traits. I mean, you put him up down 40 yards down the field with 2 people in coverage and a jump ball, he might get it more times than not. He's incredible. He's electric with the ball in his hands. And I'm just really big on ZAY Floweres, like most of the world is, as he's now predicted back end of the first round. At number 3, we got Jordan Addison, USC transfer from Pittsburgh, where he did win the Blitnikoff as the best wide receiver in the country his last year there in Pittsburgh. Did well in USC, made $5 million in NIL, so you can't blame the kid for transferring, but didn't quite tear it up as some people thought. Caleb Williams slinged the ball all over the field, spread it out, so wasn't really a chance to be as down as some people thought. I'm huge on him. I know the tape doesn't lie. Jordan Addison will be a first-round pick. At number 2, we got the Madden-created Quentin Johnston. If you could create a wide receiver, this is what you're going to do. 6'4", 220, runs a 4.4, jumps out of the building, long arms, big hands. I mean, breaks tackles. Unbelievable for his size, breaks tackles. Problem with some drops, some concentration drops. Definitely doesn't have the 6'4", 220 mentality that you'd like to see, like Megatron had, going for some balls. I hope they can get some of that out of him, but some of the things that he does, or some of the God-given traits that he has, is uncoachable. I think he's got the highest floor in this draft, but there is a little bit of risk because he hasn't played to a dominant level that his frame should be, which leaves only one. And if you guys are doing the countdown with me, you should know out of Ohio State, Jackson Smith and Jigba. JSN didn't play a lot of football this year, got hurt a few games in, tried to fight through it, and then called it for the season. I'm guessing that had a lot to do with this weekend's preparation for the draft, because the pros are where you, even with NIL, the pros is where you're going to make your living. And yeah, I'm not afraid of any of that. 2 years ago, with Olave and Garrett Wilson on his roster, he was arguably the best wide receiver. And he ran a sub 6.66, the Devil's 3 cone at the combine. He's lit. And he's going to be good out of the slot. He's going to be able to go outside. And he's got, I think, the highest floor in this draft. That's why I have him at number 1. He's going to be a first-round pick, and let's see who's throwing him the ball, because he could be an instant producer at the next level. So there's my top 10 guys letting in the draft. Hope you like what you see. Subscribe or like. Otherwise, more to come. Once again, I'm Johnny Stocks. This is the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. This is the Fantasy Cheat Sheet. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy the draft this weekend, everybody.